Good morning and Jai Hind children. In today's class we are going to start with our next chapter of English language. We have done two chapters already. First is parts of speech. Second chapter was kinds of sentences. In this chapter we are going to study transformation of sentences. Alright. So first, before starting with the transformation of sentences, I first want to do a recapitulation of what you studied in sentences. So in sentences, I told you sentence is a group of words which expresses a complete thought. So when you have a number of words which are arranged in the correct sequence and it conveys meaning to you, it is called a sentence. For example, he bought a new car. Alright. Then I also taught you the different kinds of sentences. There are four kinds: declarative sentences, imperative sentences, interrogative sentences, and exclamatory. I'm sure you all must be knowing the different kinds of sentences by now, and what are the functions, what are the features of these different kind of sentences. Now, in this exercise, transformation of sentences, we are going to learn how to change one kind of sentence to another. Okay. So let's understand the meaning of transformation. What does the word transformation mean? Let us understand that first. Transformation means change. What does transformation mean? It means change. When you change something, you are transforming that thing. Okay. You can change sentences from one kind to another with or without changing their meanings. So when you change one sentence, one kind of sentence to another kind, you can do so either with changing the meaning or without changing the meaning of the sentence. How you will do it? I'm going to explain it to you in the slides. In the following slides, I'm going to explain that to you. Okay, this chapter has a number of rules, so this video I'm going to divide in parts so that you can view and you can understand one part at a time. This is a big chapter and has a lot of rules, so I suggest you don't watch the full all the videos together because you will get confused. Watch the videos in parts. I'm going to send you the videos in parts, and that is how you will watch it. Don't watch all the videos of this chapter in one go. Okay, so first thing that we needed to understand is what is transformation of sentences. Transformation means changing one kind of sentence to another. Let's move on to the next part of this exercise. So now we are going to learn how to change from an exclamatory sentence to a declarative sentence. Now I want you all to think about what you studied in the last chapter. In the last chapter, I told you exclamatory sentence is where you express strong emotions or strong feelings, and exclamatory sentence end with an exclamation mark. Okay, and for declarative sentence, I told you a declarative sentence is one wherein we give out some information, or when we say some fact. Okay, something which is a true fact, that is a declarative sentence. Declarative sentence ends with a full stop. I'll just give you a small example of exclamatory and declarative before we do the transformation. Exclamatory is, so if I say how beautiful that girl is, this is exclamatory sentence. And if I say she is a beautiful girl, so I'm saying a fact about the girl, I'm giving out information about the girl, so that is a declarative sentence. Okay, so in the next minutes I'm going to teach you how to change from an exclamatory sentence to declarative. Now there are two ways. You can either change from exclamatory to declarative. So see the arrow which is going up, the purple arrow. See, this is exclamatory to declarative. So either you can change from exclamatory to declarative, or see the yellow arrow, the downward arrow, from declarative to exclamatory. So you can also change. Okay, so it can be two ways. If you have a declarative, you can change it into exclamatory. If you have an exclamatory sentence, you can also change that into declarative. Alright, so it can be both ways. See the arrows, it is a cycle drawn. That means you can change from exclamatory to declarative as well as from declarative to exclamatory. It can be changing both sides. Alright, now let us understand this with an example. What an amazing scenery it is. Okay, see, it ends with an exclamation mark, and here we are expressing our feeling for the scenery, that the scenery is amazing. All right, so this is an exclamatory sentence. Okay, in exclamatory sentence, see, subject is it, helping verb is, that is coming at the end, it is. Now when you change this exclamatory sentence to declarative, let us see how we are going to do it. It is an amazing scenery. So what did we do here? Subject is it, is the helping verb. In exclamatory sentence, subject and helping verb is coming at the end of the sentence. But when we want to change the exclamatory sentence to declarative sentence, it is going to come in the beginning. So it is will come in the beginning, followed by an amazing scenery. Okay, now we will not repeat the word what in the declarative sentence, because what is a way to denote emotion over here. It is not asking question, it is denoting your strong emotion for the scenery. All right, so if it is what an amazing scenery it is, we will write it is an amazing scenery. In the first one, we are expressing our emotion for the scenery, whereas in the second one, we are just stating out, we are just saying an information for the scenery, that it is an amazing scenery. All right, so this is one way of doing it. I have explained one example. I'll show you another one. How beautiful she is. So what is the subject? Subject is she, helping verb is. And what are we saying? How beautiful she is. So we are expressing our feeling for a girl who is very beautiful. Now, the way I told you how to do the first one, I want you all that you try to understand how will you answer this. Try to do that on your own. Over here, what did I tell you? Subject and helping verb should come in the beginning of the sentence. So she and is, these two words will go in the beginning. So I can say she is very beautiful. Alright, again the word how I will not repeat in declarative, because how is only expressing my strong emotion, and in declarative sentence I don't want to express my strong emotion. So I will say she is very beautiful. Did you see the subject and the helping verb at the end is again going in the beginning of the sentence, and we end the sentence with a full stop. This is how we will change from exclamatory to declarative sentence. Okay. Now if you had the question, it is an amazing scenery, and you had to change to exclamatory, so if you had to do the opposite way of it, you could have written what an amazing scenery it is. So it can be both ways. I hope this is clear. This is your first part of the chapter. Okay, changing from exclamatory to declarative, this is the first part. This part is very easy. The next part has a number of rules which I'm going to cover in the next few minutes. I hope it is clear till here. If you want to revise till here, then you stop the video, stop this video here, go back in the video and hear my explanation again, so that this part is very clear to you. Before moving on to the next part, you can just replay this once more, so that you are very sure that you have understood this rule. Alright, now if you've already done that, I'm going to move on to the next part of the chapter. Okay, now next part of the chapter, this will teach us how to change from declarative to interrogative. Okay, so now declarative, I already told you, declarative sentences, they give out information to you, end with a full stop. Okay, and what is interrogative? Think about what you studied in the last chapter for interrogative sentences. Yes, so interrogative sentences ask questions. Okay, whenever you ask a question, say with what, how, when, where, those sentences are called interrogative sentence. And because you're asking a question, these sentences will always end with a question mark. Alright, they will always end with a question mark, and they ask questions. So over here, what am I asking you to do? I'm asking you to change from a declarative sentence to interrogative. Now declarative already it gives out information to you. Interrogative will ask for that information. So this is the change you have to do. Again, like I told you in the last slide, you can change from interrogative to declarative, or you can change from declarative to interrogative. See, there are two sides of arrows. That means the change can be both ways, declarative to interrogative or interrogative to declarative. Both of the ways are possible. Here I am going to teach you how to change from declarative to interrogative. I hope till here this is clear. Again, I'm telling you the same thing again and again, children. If you're not able to understand some part of the explanation in one go, it is always a good habit to pause the video, go back and listen to the explanation again. If you do that, you will be able to understand the rules way better. Okay. Alright, so if I've covered this part, let me go to the rules for declarative to interrogative. Now there are a couple of rules for this. Let's see the first one. Okay, so there are two ways to change from declarative to interrogative. So when I have given you a question, if I ever give you a declarative sentence and I tell you to change it into interrogative, you can do that in two ways and both the ways are going to be correct. Alright, let's see what the two ways are. First is changing the meaning of the sentence. Second way is without changing the meaning of the sentence. Okay, so there is one way wherein if you change the sentence from declarative to interrogative, the meaning will be changed. This particular method you have done in class 4, so this should be easy for you all. Okay, the next way is without changing the meaning of the sentence, wherein you keep the meaning of the sentence exactly the same. This is new, so this is going to be an addition over here. The first one, changing the meaning, I'll go through the examples and you will see that you already have studied that in your last class. Okay, let's understand this through examples. So under changing the meaning, okay, so if I give you a sentence, she is very kind. This is a declarative sentence. See, it ends with a full stop. And also I'm giving out information about a girl that she is a very kind girl. Alright, so this is giving out information. Now if I tell you to change it into a question sentence, into an interrogative sentence, so there how will I change it? I can say, is she very kind? Okay, is she very kind? So this is my answer. This is how I can change this into an interrogative sentence. Declarative sentence, I told you she is very kind. Interrogative, I'm asking, is she very kind? Alright, now see, why am I saying that the meaning is changing over here? If I give you the sentence, is she very kind? Okay, if I'm asking, the answer can be no, she is very kind, or yet, I'm sorry, the answer can be no, she is not kind, or it can also be yes, she is very kind. Both can be the answers. If I ask, suppose there is a boy in the class, I ask that boy, is your friend kind? I ask that boy, the boy might say, no, she is not kind. Or the boy might also say, yes, my friend is very kind. So both can be the answers. It is not necessary that the answer will only be a yes answer. Okay, that is why this is changing the meaning. Let us look at some more examples under changing the meaning. Then I will teach you how to change the sentence into interrogative without the meaning being changed. Okay. So next sentence, I am in class 5. So I'm giving out information about myself that I am in class 5. How will I change it? You should know this. Try to do it on your own. Yes, the answer will be, am I in class 5? Okay, so you're asking, am I in class 5? Did you understand the difference over here? So I am in class 5. If you change it into a question, you will say, am I in class 5? Again, when I ask that question, am I in class 5? Doesn't this sound very weird? Why will you ask yourself that are you in class 5? You should be knowing that, right? So this is a bit weird. When we are doing I and you, we will take an exception. I will tell you what that exception is. Wait. Let's do this without changing the meaning this time. Okay. So again, the same sentence that I used before, she is very kind, is given over here also. She is very kind. Now, because I don't want to change the meaning of my sentence, I will say, isn't she very kind? Now see, you might be seeing that over here I have used a contraction for is not. I have said, isn't she very kind? So now when I ask, isn't she very kind, my answer will only be yes, she is very kind. When you ask someone like that, isn't she very kind, with the negative contraction used in it, then answer is always yes. Yes, she is very kind. So my sentence here is she is very kind. It is a yes answer. So meaning stays the same. Did you understand here? In the first example I gave you, I said she is very kind can become is she very kind. Here my answer can be yes, she is very kind, or can be no, she is not kind. So because the meaning may get changed, That is why if I don't want to change the meaning, I will say, isn't she very kind? Did you understand? When you add isn't, the answer is always positive. Okay. Again, we'll move on to the next one. I am in class 5. This is the declarative. So how will we change this? We'll say, aren't I in class 5? Okay, so am not has no contraction, as we have studied already in the last chapter. Am not becomes aren't. Okay, so aren't I in class 5? Again, when I say aren't I in class 5, my answer will always be yes, I am in class 5. So here again, meaning will not get changed if I add the contraction of are not over here. Did you understand? If I say am I in class 5, my answer can be either yes, or it can also be no, I am not in class 5. So meaning can get changed. That is why we will stick to this. Also, when you have sentences with I and you in it, it is always a good habit to do aren't I or aren't you with the negative contraction, because am I in class 5, this sounds very weird. Why will you ask if you're in class 5? You obviously know it, right? So because it sounds very weird, we will stick to the negative contraction. That is always the better way to do it. I hope it is clear. Again, if you could not understand, go back and replay the video again. Okay, let's see the next part of this video. Note, in order not to change the meaning, use isn't, aren't, hasn't or won't. So if the question tells you that you have to transform the sentences without changing the meaning of the sentence, then you have to use contractions like isn't, aren't, hasn't or won't. Okay, there can be others too. There's just a number of examples given over here. Is it very clear? Whenever you don't have to change the meaning, you have to use the contraction with not. If the question does not say, if you just get a question saying that, change the following sentences from declarative to interrogative, you can simply do it. She is very kind, is she very kind? Okay, you can change the meaning. That's not a problem. Let's see something else here. In both cases, so in both the cases, changing the meaning or without changing the meaning, the verb is used before the subject to change the declarative to interrogative. Alright, so this is another thing that you have to know here, that whenever you are changing from a declarative sentence to an interrogative sentence, the subject is the verb is used before the subject. Verb goes first, then comes the subject. So she is very kind. She is the subject, is the verb. So see, it is becoming is she very kind. So verb is going first and then the subject. Whenever you are changing into interrogative, in interrogative sentence, always keep this in mind. First you will write the verb, then you will write the subject. Okay, first the verb and then the subject. Subject will never be the first word in an interrogative sentence. Alright, I hope this part is clear. If it is not clear, replay your video and understand. Okay, so again, under from declarative to interrogative, there are some more rules. Let's see that. So when a declarative sentence has two verbs, one main verb and one helping verb, it can be changed into an interrogative sentence by putting the subject between the two verbs. Before I do this, I want you to see one thing in the last slide. Give me one moment. Okay, let's go by this. When a declarative sentence has two verbs, okay, so in the previous slide, there was only a helping verb. Is she very kind? So is the helping verb. There are no two verbs. Okay. Here what is the slide telling you? That if you have a helping verb as well as a main verb, then how will you change it? Again, so there are two ways, changing the meaning or without changing the meaning. Let's look at an example. She has finished her homework. This is a declarative sentence. When we change this into interrogative, we will say, has she finished her homework? So okay, now let's see the first sentence, the declarative sentence, to understand this. In this, she is the subject, has is the helping verb, finished is the main verb. Okay, has is the helping verb, finished is the main verb. So there are two verbs over here. When we change such a declarative sentence into an interrogative sentence, what will we do? Helping verb will go first, then will come the subject, and then comes the main verb. Did you understand? So what are we doing? When we change such sentences, first you will put helping verb, then you will put the subject, then you will put the main verb. So subject will become like a sandwich between the two verbs. Okay, between the helping verb and the main verb, subject is going to be in between of that. Did you understand? Let's see the next one. You are going to the fair. So you is the subject, are is the helping verb, going is the main verb. Now try to follow the previous example and try to answer this on your own. What should it be? What is the helping verb here? I said helping verb goes first. So what is the helping verb? Helping verb is are. So are will go first. Okay, main verb is going. And I said subject becomes like a sandwich between helping verb and main verb. So are will be followed by you and then the main verb. So it will be, are you going to the fair? See, helping verb followed by the subject and then the main verb. Okay, let's see another one. I will meet you at the mall. Again, over here subject is I, helping verb is will, and main verb is meet. So again I should become a sandwich between will and meet. So how will I say this? I will say, will I meet you at the mall? Okay, will I meet you at the mall? Did you understand? Again, see, there is I over here. It sounds very weird if you say will I meet, like don't you know if you're going to meet the friend at the mall? You obviously know. So for this we will always stick with the aren't contraction. We'll see that later. I hope this part is clear where you change the meaning. Now without changing the meaning. She has finished her homework. Now what did I tell you? If you don't have to change the meaning, you will use the contractions with not. The not word has to come. And because subject comes between the helping verb and the main verb, what will we say? We will say, hasn't she finished her homework? So subject is she. She goes between helping verb and main verb. And because you don't have to change the meaning, you have to use hasn't. That is why we will say, hasn't she finished her homework? Alright. Next example. You are going to the fair. Now you should be able to answer this. Aren't you going to the fair? Very nice. Aren't you going to the fair? Aren't has to be used. I told you not contraction has to be used. Subject comes between helping verb and main verb again. Next one, I will meet you at the mall. Won't I meet you at the mall? So because you have will contraction, the contraction for will not is won't. I have taught you in the last chapter. You can go back and see the last video for this. So won't I meet you at the mall? Again subject is coming between the main verb and the helping verb. This is how you do such sentences. Now children, always, I know this is a bit confusing for you. So keep this in mind. Whenever you get to change a declarative sentence to interrogative, you can do it both ways. But it is always simpler to do it by changing the meaning. You will get it correct if you do it like that. That's always correct. But when you have I and you do it with the not contraction. I and you are exceptions. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, replay the video, watch it once again to understand. So under declarative to interrogative, there are two more small rules I want you to know. The first one is, when a declarative sentence contains the adverb never, it becomes ever. Okay, very easy. If you have a declarative sentence which uses the word never, always remember, when you change it to interrogative, don't use the word never, use the word ever. Let's see how to do it. So example, I never asked you to do it. This is the declarative. How will you change to interrogative? Did I ever ask you to do it? Okay, so declarative, I never asked you to do it. Interrogative, did I ever ask you to do it? Alright, so never becomes ever. Again over here, because it is interrogative, see, the verb will go in the front, then comes the subject. I told you interrogative sentences never start with the subject as the first word. That is why subject comes as the second word. Alright. Another rule, when a declarative sentence contains the adverb no, it becomes any in the interrogative sentence. So if your declarative sentence, if you're using the word no in the declarative, it will become any in interrogative. For example, there is no fun in doing that. So what am I saying? I'm saying there is no fun. I don't like doing that. So there is no fun in doing that. How will I change it? Is there any fun in doing that? So you're asking, is there any fun in doing that? Okay, that is how you're going to change it. So no will become any, never will become ever. Alright, so these are the few rules that you have to keep in mind when you're changing from declarative to interrogative. Alright, so I know there are a number of rules under declarative to interrogative. It might be a bit difficult, so that is why I'm telling you again and again, replay the video. Watch it as many times as you want to get an understanding on this. We will be discussing the same thing on the Zoom class. I'll ask you questions to see how much you've been able to understand. So to be prepared for the Zoom class, it is very important that you understand by this video. Okay, after this there is a exercise in your book. This is exercise A on page 11. I've just taken a small picture. Here you have to change from declarative to interrogative. Now see the question, what the question says. Change the following declarative sentences into interrogative sentences. So now this question does not say that you have to keep the meaning of the sentence same. So you can do it in a very simple way. Like if it is written Sheila is my best friend, you can just say, is Sheila my best friend? Like that. Okay, if you write isn't Sheila my best friend, even that is okay. Both your answers are going to be correct. So you can stick to the way that you find easier. I will say it is better to go with the simple thing that you have already done in class 4. You don't have to make it very complicated. So for today I'm going to keep it only till here, only till the first 2 topics of this chapter I've covered. There are 3 more topics of this chapter which I'm going to cover in the next video. Please read this thoroughly. Also read your book thoroughly. Watch the video thoroughly. You have to be very clear on this chapter. Okay. After we are done discussing this, after that I will tell you how to do the exercises. Alright. You don't have to straight away do the exercise in the notebook. You will first do it in the rough notebook. So only exercise A I want you to do. I don't want you to do the other exercises. The thing I've explained to you is only for exercise A. So you will open your rough notebook, you will write down the answers for exercise A. When we meet, we will discuss till this and we will also discuss exercise A. I hope my video is clear. If there's something that you cannot understand, you can always ask me. Thank you.